Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how to convert a PC avatar to Quest, and this video is going to be about if possible preserving the same amount of toggles as the original PC version if possible. If not, we're gonna adjust and probably remove some of them. And if you want to see how to make like a super extremely optimized version of your PC avatar for Quest that doesn't share the same toggles, but it looks the same, but it's like, just there for Quest people to see it, I'm going to be doing a different video for that. First, I'm going to show you these dependencies. So the avatar itself needs specific version of Poiyomi that I have in the project, and it needs VRCFury. But we're going to be using VRCFury anyway, so put it in your project, link in description. I'm also going to be using the gesture manager for testing the avatar in Unity all the time, so I don't have to build and test or upload it to test. We're also going to be using VRC Quest Tools for some specific things, like we're going to convert automatically the avatar first, then we're going to manually fix all the problems. And Pumkin avatar tools, just in case I need to copy stuff when, if I ruin anything and I need to copy a lot of the settings from old avatar to a new one, I can do it with these tools. So I'm going to try to do this without touching Blender, at least not first. So I'm going to use VRC Quest Tools that I installed previously, and I'm going to do convert avatar for Android, and I drag my avatar into this little slot if it's not there yet. For example, if you have multiple in your hierarchy, you might need to drag it by hand. And then I do begin converter settings, and it's gonna offer me this thing, so I'm gonna click OK. And now I have like a bunch of these options. So let's look through. First, it offers us what material conversion shader we're gonna use. We're gonna click Toon Standard. That's the new one for Quest that has like gazillion more functions. It's much better, so we use it. It was released, I think 3 days ago, stuff like me recording this video. And to get the shader, you just need the SDK to be 3.8.1 or newer. So I recommend you definitely doing that. Now we're going to change the texture size limit. Now, I think if your avatar has an atlas, which means it has like a bunch of different textures in one material, you can basically see in the folder that has textures. I'm going to just quickly look, for example, at one example of my own. I can see all the different textures here. And it's mainly like everything separate. So for me, it's fine to keep it max 1K for Quest. If you need more detail, you go 2K and then you adjust manually. For example, if you have the atlases that I was talking about, for example, you have all different like clothing items on one big texture, definitely do 2K, and then you can always like scale down. It's quite easy to do that in Unity. Compression format, you can select these. ASTC is like somehow recently forced format by VRChat for Quest. It's better than what we used before, so it makes sense. And here you can choose between high quality and high compression, and you can also change these manually later. So I'm just gonna go like the second highest for now. Fallback shading, realistic, very soft, is kind of what I prefer personally. This is all from the new Toon Standard. If you want to see what all of these look like, look up my intro video on Toon Standard when it was in beta, and you can see like the differences. Then you can like do like all these different specific, like you can basically specify which materials you want to set up this way. So for example, if you have like, a material with like an atlas with like pants, a cap, and a shirt, and underwear and shoes at one picture, you can like set it up to be 2K, but all the others are going to be 1K. It's really useful. Then you scroll down here and you have like all these like physbones. This I'm going to do later in the video. I'm not going to do it right now because that's going to take a bit more work. Because the limit for Quest is 8, and we have how many? We have 33, but we're gonna deal with that later. And this I'm not gonna bother with myself now at all, and I'm gonna click convert. And now the Quest tools are gonna convert your avatar. It can take 5 to 15 minutes, so just let it work, and let's see what it does. So it gives you this error, which is common if you have too many physbones. like I said, we're gonna fix that later in the video, so we just go OK. And it basically now tells us to fix these problems. But first, we want to see our avatar. So it created a different instance of our avatar called the same but Android. So I'm just gonna move this to the side, and I wanna enable back the PC version. I'm gonna move it here, and let's see. We wanna see the differences, and we can see how the shading is quite more dark than the original. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is to use the VRCFury Blendshape Optimizer, because there's literally free space and free optimization for your avatar. So you select the avatar in the hierarchy, and in the inspector you scroll down and you add a component and you type in blend shape, and it's the Blendshape Optimizer. And that's all you have to do for this. What it basically does, it takes blend shapes your avatar doesn't use in any like animations, effects or whatever, like at all. Because you can see like the main body mesh has like a lot of them. And it basically removes the ones that you don't use when you're building and uploading the avatar. So it saves on VRAM and also file size. And it's not destructive at all, which means it only does that when you're uploading and building. It doesn't do that on the FBX, on the model itself at all. So if you decide you suddenly need some of these, you can definitely just, set that up, and the next time you upload, it's going to take that into account and keep them. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little evaluation of what we have and what we need to do basically when it comes to the file size. So you select your avatar, and you can leave your project in PC for the time being, because okay, for some reason Android build avatars take a bit more space than PC, but we're not going to focus on that right now. We just want a rough estimate. When we're going to be finishing up, we're gonna check for that, but not right now. So you just select your avatar and you build and test, and you let that. Oh, also I need to save a scene. Optimization tutorial real quest. So we let that wait for a bit. It's going to take a bit, and then we're going to use this little handy website called Asset Bundle that you've probably seen in some of my previous videos if you watched them. What it does, it takes your locally built avatar in VRCA format, and it shows you basically a little graph of how much do meshes and textures and animations and menus and whatever take on your avatar when it comes to space. So you see, like, for example, sometimes you forget like a little normal map that takes 2 megabytes and you have no clue where it is. And this literally shows you like the name and all that. So I'm going to show you that shortly. So now that the avatar has been successfully built, we open our little website and you click open an asset bundle, and you find your folder with your locally built avatars, and we'll link in the description how to find it, like the actual path. You need to go to your app data, local, VRChat, and then VRChat again, and avatars. So we're gonna put this avatar right in and see how big it is. So this number is basically the 10 megabyte limit that you focus on. It has to be lower than 10. Now it's 7.8, so that theoretically should be fine for Quest. We use like the optimizer that optimizes the body. I know for a fact that the body would be 2.1, instead of 1.5. So that saves us a lot of space already. So actually it's not that bad in this case. In this case, we don't have to do much when it comes to removing features when it comes to the 10 megabytes limit. It's still not going to be optimized for Quest because it has a lot of polygons and a lot of materials and meshes and all that. But if you really want your avatar to, have the same functionality as on PC, you have to, you kind of have to keep it the way it is currently. So the next thing we're going to fix is the physbones, because we can only have 8 physbone components for Android. And currently, you're going to see, because Quest Tools has the utility remove physbones, currently we have 33, which is quite a lot. So here you have to do usually some sacrifices basically, and some magic, I would suppose. So first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see what I can do with the hair, because that's the biggest amount of components. And what I kind of decided before is that I might have to remove one hairstyle because she has two, and that would be too much like physbone, like transformers and collisions, and also unoptimized as heck. So I'm gonna make a decision to keep only one of the hairstyles, because we can see, let's see, if I disable the back hair, she has a ponytail, and I'm gonna decide to remove the ponytail and just keep the back hair. So I'm gonna just remove it by deleting it. And now I need to find the bones that are in the ponytail and remove them. I'm gonna open my utility again. And I need to drag my avatar in. And there's the ponytail. So the ponytail has only one physbone, but I removed a lot of polygons, so that should help as well. But I'm gonna, let's see, how does this actually work? Select physbones to keep. So I'm gonna untick the ponytail, and now I can delete, and it only deletes the physbone component. It doesn't delete the bone itself, so that's fine. I might actually later have to delete the bones themselves, but we'll see about that when we try to upload requests. Now we have to focus on this issue. So that's a lot of bones, but we can do a little trickery. I can also put this here for more conveniency. So usually the hair strands have a root bone like this. So unless you for some reason need separate different settings, which this avatar has for some of the strands, you usually can just use like one root bone. The thing is here, I'll have to make the sacrifice and just like make it just like one setting. I'm just gonna choose the first one, I suppose. And I'm gonna add it here. So I'm gonna add a physbone. I'm also gonna click this little gizmo so I can see the physbones. And I'm gonna copy the component, and I'm gonna pass the component over here. And now I can just select these, and I did this by left clicking and shift left click to select multiple, and I just removed the component for the physbone. So that should give us less components right here. We have 24 now. The thing is, what you kind of need to do also is to set this to ignore, because if you did first, it would create the extra bone right here, and that would mess stuff up. So we just do ignore, and we'll see how it works with the collider. We might have to make the collider a bit smaller for this, because it might clip into it, but we'll see that when we test it later. So now we do the same with the long hair. Yeah, it's literally the same thing. So I just copy this, and then you put it right here, and clicked, and then you remove these. There we go. Now we have 18 components. Cool. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay, so this is a specific issue as well. So we have the physbone on the ear, but the thing is you have one on the earring, because I suppose you want the earring to move in different, speed and fashion. But I'll have to make the sacrifice and just remove the physbone on the earring. And also the ears have root as well. So let's see how that works here. Oh, I see. It needs to ignore this one. So on ears, we'll have to keep it this way for now. We'll see if that's going to have to be changed or not. Oh, bangs also. We need to change the bangs as well. The same way as we did with all the different hair bones. Usually the hair bones are the most difficult to work with, to be honest. And the most amount of sacrifices you need to make. Let's see. Can I copy the oh, I have to select one. Okay. Copy component. And then paste it here. And you select these and just remove it. Now we check again. Now we have 13. We need to get rid of 5 more. Let's see, what else do we need to get rid of? I'm probably gonna just have to remove the phi jiggle because that is not gonna fit in the limit, so I'm just gonna do that for both. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I'm pretty sure for the boobs we have a root as well, so I'm gonna, let's see, yeah. I'm gonna do the same here as I did with the hairstyle. And remove these. And I'm pretty sure for the butt it's gonna work the same, let's see. Yeah, it does. So we're gonna do that too. Paste. And we're gonna, oh, there we go. Gonna remove these. Now we have 7, are we sure? No, we have 10. So now we need to remove 2 more. And I'm thinking about what else can we do here. Maybe we're gonna have to remove the tongue. The tail we should not remove. Let's see. Oh, I left a bone in the hair here. Okay, my mistake. This one is free. There we go. Now we have 9. We need to remove just 1 more. Let's see. Yeah, theoretically I might have to remove the tongue, I suppose. I guess this really depends on your personal preference, because you have to make a kind of a creative decision here. Because I think the hair is like the most important, especially also with, like, you know, these parts. The ears, I'm kind of afraid it's gonna get messed up if I put it on the root. I mean, let me see, what does this, I mean, it might not. Because if I move it like this, it's just gonna move like the whole thing. I mean, yeah, sure, let's do it, what the heck. Let's keep the tongue and just like do the ears this way. So I'm gonna put this here. Ignore, that's correct. It might move too much, but we can always, like, you know, change it back and adjust. That's completely fine. Okay, there we go. That's 8. That's good enough. Now it's, I think there's too many collision checks, I think, for Quest. So we need to change, you need to check all these like bones and remove some colliders basically. For example, this one does 2 of them, and I think that's good enough. That's fine. That's how it kind of should be. Now the long hair has, I think, way too many here. So what I'm gonna do for Quest, I think I'm gonna remove all the colliders like below the spine, really, because the hair is long, but it's not that long. You know, and it's the Quest, you just have to deal with stuff and just sacrifice things. I'm probably gonna repeat myself 15,000 times, but that's how it is, really. I guess we'll have to wait for Quest 7 or whatever, or 6 to, you know, not have to do these things. But anyway, where is the collision? There we go, colliders. Oh yeah, there's way too many. So I'm just gonna remove the floor collider. I'm also gonna remove feet and knees and legs. And you can just click and, you know, delete on your keyboard to fix this. Let's see, also the hips are not necessary either. The spine we might keep. We'll see how that goes. Let's see how that changed. Okay, so we almost halved the physbone collision check count, but it's still not, you know, enough. So let's see for this one. Oh, that's one we were actually changing. What about the front hair? That's fine. The bangs, that's fine. We might have to remove some of the collisions on the hands, probably. Tail. Oh, the tail collides with like a whole bunch of stuff too. I'll probably just, on the tail, I remove. What do I remove? I'm gonna remove the feet for sure. And I'm gonna remove the knees too. And let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's way better. Physbone transforms. Yeah, we cannot upload for Android. We have to reduce the amount of transforms. So what I kind of figured is that it's probably impossible to have this long hair hairstyle and have the maximum physbone transforms to be able to upload for Quest and Android. So I'm gonna have to make the decision to actually remove this hairstyle and then put basically back the ponytail. And you've probably seen me remove the ponytail from here. So how do I put it back? Well, I can just put the FBX in this scene again. I'm just gonna click here. And I find the FBX of the avatar and I put it in the scene. Let me just put it to the side. And now I open Pumkin tools, avatar tools. I put my FBX in this slot here and I scroll up. And I put my Android version that I was working on here. And then I copy all these settings, which should be ticked in. Let's see if it has everything I need. Also VRCFury. Because I have the optimizer, I want to copy that too. Other than that, it should be fine. I want materials, yes. Physbones, everything. Okay, and now I scroll down and you hit copy selected. And there you go, voila. You don't have to do everything by hand again. And it's gonna have the hairstyle too, actually, because it, you know, it didn't remove stuff, it only adds stuff, as far as I know. So we have the ponytail right here, but we don't want the long hair, so we're gonna remove it. The back hair, there we go, there it is. So I'm gonna just delete it. I'm also gonna delete the physbone settings. Oh, I can actually do that faster just by opening my physbones remover, and I'm gonna put my new avatar in it. And then I'm gonna find long back hair, there it is. I'm just gonna like move it around so I can see it's actually not moving anything. There we go. And I delete oh, wrong button. You have to do it here. Remove component. Now I also need to find a material for this hair, which I have somewhere in the materials. So let me show you how to do that as well. Just click one of these and you're gonna see the hair materials. Let me see if it's this one. That looks about right. Maybe it's this one. I guess I can choose. I kind of prefer this, so I'll just keep it that way. And I need to put the physbone back. And for that, I'm gonna copy the setting from this avatar. Let's see, and that was the ponytail. Oh, not the transform. I'm gonna do it from the physbone script. Now I'm gonna get back to my avatar here, drag it back, and find the same bone for the ponytail, pony root. Sounds about right, but we're gonna do it here. Okay. Now we go here and we see we have 65 transforms and we can only have 64. So we need to do some black magic probably. I'm just gonna inspect like all this if I can do the ignore anywhere, or it's oops, or it's everywhere. There we go, just double click it to undo that nonsense. Let's see this one. Because by doing the ignore, it lowers the count by 1, which is exactly what we need here. but it's probably down everywhere. So we might have to do something crazy. Might have to move the tongue on one lower than it actually is, or the tail. Oh, there you go. The tail might actually work. Let's see if that did anything. Oh, now it's a 75. Maybe I'm blind and I didn't see that, but okay. So now we have to do some gymnastics. So we might actually do even more sacrifices. So now when you're in a situation like this, you just sit back, you know, in your chair, you just like, and think, how are we gonna abuse the system? You know what I mean? Like, just have to find ways to optimize these things. And probably just gonna have to do on the hair and just like maybe just disable some physbones on some bangs, or disable bang movement at all. So what I decided to do is I'm gonna basically ignore some of these because I didn't have any better ideas, to be honest. So how do you do that is you click, select the bone with the fishbone, and you go to ignore transforms. And I'm gonna put in 2 so far. And I'm gonna select 2 of those that I'm gonna not animate and fishbone. Let's see. I could do this one for sure. And you just drag it in and it's gonna ignore it. I could do the other side as well. And now you can see in the fishbones remover how it has less transforms. So you just have to basically keep adding these. I might do also the ones on the front, which is, let's see, not this one. Oh yeah, it's these 2. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna add these 2 as well. Because I think that's gonna be, less noticeable. And also it's not gonna collide with the chest. Let's see what that did. 65. Now we need to remove one more, which I suppose I could do both of these. For sure. Yeah, probably rather do these, to be honest. No, I'm not sure. Well, this tutorial is not necessarily to show you the most aesthetic, best looking solution, but it kind of is supposed to make you learn how to do these things so we can make your own creative decisions, really. And I did that wrong, right? Yeah, I need to do the other one. This one, I think. No, that's wrong too. Actually, no, it isn't. There you go. That's what I wanted to do. Now I'm gonna check, and now it's fine. Now we have to do the fishbone collision check, which is basically collisions. It's not that bad. We're just gonna remove a few more colliders for some of the, I guess, the hair. So let's just let's see which one is gonna be the most problematic here. Ponytail. Does the ponytail have collisions? Oh, it doesn't at all. Interesting. Tongue has a collision. I guess, yeah, I guess that makes sense. What about the tail? Yeah, the tail. Let's see. The tail is probably not gonna collide with the spine or the chest. So let's just remove the chest. What the heck? That should actually work. Oh, not yet. Okay, we need to do more. So how about, I'm thinking about situations when your tail gets like moved by either your legs or your hands. I guess you want to kind of play with your tail sometimes, with no pun intended, by the way, with your arms. And I removed the shoulders. I think that's kind of useless in this scenario. Let's see what that did. 73. Okay, we need more. Jesus. How about I remove both arms? Oh, there we go. That worked. Okay, now that should be fine. The thing about this tool is that it actually shows you all these things on Quest without actually you having to build it or test it on Quest, so that's cool. Now what I'm gonna do, just in case, I'm gonna put my gesture manager in the emulator, and I'm gonna go in play mode and test my avatar in Unity to see if, you know, how it looks and if everything works, because there's, you know, stuff can go wrong. So let's see. So it asks me for this, and I'm gonna click yes. And now I'm in the play mode, and my avatar is already in the gesture manager. If that's not the case and it's still in T-pose, you just have to click the gesture manager in your hierarchy like this one, like this. And then you click and drag your avatar in this slot right here. And now I can, you know, basically emulate VRChat and see how it works. So let me do some nice sitting pose. That seems to... the ears are so bouncy, that's funny. Anyway, you can move her around and see how it looks. I mean, it's not that bad. Seems to be working pretty well. The only problem is the collision of the ponytail. So theoretically you could just add like a collider for the ponytail bone with the chest, I guess. And if you have too many collision checks, you just remove some on the tail. So you could do that for sure. Other than that, the avatar looks appears to be working quite well, quite fine. So I've put them back together, the PC version and the Android version next to each other. And I wanted to make it look more like the PC version on Quest, which with the Toon Standard shader, which is new, released like a couple days ago, we can definitely do that. First thing I want to focus is the metals. You can see how it's like nice and shiny over here, and over here it's like completely like bland. So we're gonna select the material, and we're gonna do some stuff that was not really possible before on Quest. So we're gonna take in specular, which is gonna give us some reflections over here. And I just play with this. And I also don't want it to be like gray, so I'm just gonna delete that, what the heck. And yeah, that already looks nicer, but let's see what we can do with this. I actually just like to play around with like these sliders. I'm gonna make it like really metallic, which is gonna reflect the environment as well. Like this gloss is pretty nice actually. You can also mix in some matte caps if you want. For example, if I'm gonna find some matte cap. Let's see, does this one give it a little bit of a metallic tint? Yeah, well, not really what I prefer. Maybe this one is better. Yeah, you can basically play around with this as much as you want and change like all the different settings. Also, we can add occlusion, which we don't have a map for, so we're not going to do that in this case. But also we can add rim lighting, which is probably the biggest feature for this, for Quest. Just thinking about how much I want. Oh yeah, look at this. Some people are gonna love this. I'm not much personally for rim lighting or metals that much, but you get the idea, so you can play around with this quite a lot. And I'm studying how basically the face is set up, and it has flat shading on Poiyomi, but it uses also a matte cap on some parts of it, and it has rim lighting, like a pink one. So I'm just gonna copy this color for the rim lighting, and I'm gonna get back here, and I'm gonna edit this shader, and I'm gonna add to rim lighting and change the shading to flat to see if it gets brighter. Oh, not really, so I'm just gonna keep it realistic soft, very soft. Gonna add the rim lighting. Oh, I was actually doing that on the wrong material, on the body. I want to do it on the face, sorry about that. So let's repeat. Rim lighting. Gonna put in the color. It's interesting how it does on on the eyebrows as well. Is that if it should be here? Huh, it shouldn't. Interesting. Can albedo tint the heck out of it. It depends how much of this you want, but I suppose the eyebrows would be a deal breaker. But you can, oh, you can tint it. Nice. Yeah, that's much better. Now it's not really much noticeable here. But like I say, it's basically on you to make these creative decisions. And actually, like all the materials on the original use flat Poiyomi shading. So I can just like go into the materials of the Quest shader and just like select all of them and change the shading to flat. And it's gonna look much more closer to the original automatically, basically, if that's what you're looking for. Another thing that we're gonna fix is that she has a hue shift change and a material change on the hairstyle. So we're gonna see what it looks like on PC first, and we're gonna see what it looks like on Quest, like the base material. You can see there's a red one, there's a black one, and a pure white one. First I'm gonna do the red because that's what we're gonna do the hue shift on. So just go put it here so we see what it looks like. And on the Quest we're gonna see what it created for us, the Quest tools. You can see it's like completely flat. So first we're gonna fix that. And the good thing is that it's going to be a bit easier for us because all these four things use the same material. So it's going to be, a bit less work. So now let's see. You basically have to study the previous material and see what it's doing. So hue shift is here, we know about that. We have a matte cap. We also have rim lighting, and we also have bit of a mission with this mask, which is this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna enable hue shift. I'm also gonna enable the matte cap, rim lighting, and emission. I think it's by default. I'm just gonna put my mask here. So now we have to play around with the settings. For the emission I want like red. And this is a bit too strong, so I'm just going to go 0.5. There we go. For the matte cap, I need to put in, it's called hair. Pretty sure it's this one. Okay, that does look already better. I just don't think the rim lighting is the correct option here. Yeah, there we go. That looks much better, much closer to the original, in my opinion. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Here should we have enabled. I'm just gonna test it if it works. Yeah, it works. Nice. So now we actually change the actual settings in the FX layer. So we find the Quest FX layer that was created already automatically by Quest Tools, and we get in and we kind of need to do a little bit of looking around. But I can see already that the hair hue is what is changing the hair hue color. So I have, it's set up like a little blend tree. Okay. So I'm just gonna click these animations to find them. And I'm gonna click them here and Control D to make a copy. I'm gonna rename it to 0 Quest. And the other one, which is this one, I'm gonna do the same process. 1 Quest. And I'm gonna click the blend tree. And I replace these animations with the new ones that I just created specifically for the Quest. There it is. Okay. And I'm also going to be doing the same thing already for the eyes hue that I just found. Basically the same thing. Because we're trying to make this as close to PC as we can. There we go. 1 Quest. And we put it into the slot again. There we go. And that should be the only hue shifts that I should worry about. If I find any more, I can always fix them later. So now we're gonna make the animations. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna make like a fake controller. Just like click any folder, right click, create, animator controller. I'm not gonna even rename it because I'm gonna delete it in like 10 seconds. I'm gonna Control D, make a copy of my avatar that I'm going to be animating on, so she doesn't get stuck in a motorcycle pose. It's kind of a little trick. I'm going to drag my controller into this slot in the animator. And then I'm going to find my animations again that I just created. Just going to do this so I can find them fast. And I click and drag each one of them onto my avatar here that I just created, the copy that I'm going to be animating on. That should be these. And go to animation, and yes. So I'm going to just delete all the contents because I don't need this. I'm going to create it like new from scratch. And now comes the, hilarious haha fun part. First I'm going to do the hair, aka hair, ears, ponytail, and the tail. I'm going to hit record. And I'm going to select the first mesh, and I'm just going to make this animation, record like this. And I'm going to have to do it for all 4. There we go, now the tail. Now I'm gonna control left click, hold shift, left click on the end, so I select all of it, and control C. And I'm gonna put it into the, the end of the spectrum of the animation. And you probably used from Poiyomi to set this to 1, but watch this. It's gonna be different here. Here it's actually 6.28. I have no clue why. It's probably some kind of mathematical thing that I don't understand. But I only need to know the max value for it to do what I want it to do, so that's fine. So I just copy this number, and I'm gonna put it in all of these to make it go the full 360 basically on the hue shift. And I'm gonna go do the same for the eyes. I just select the material, and I can zoom in so I can see that it's actually working. So I'm gonna enable, let me see, I need to find the eyes. There it is. Now I'm gonna stop recording actually, and then I'm gonna enable hue shift, and I'm gonna record. And I'm gonna do the albedo. I'm gonna do the emission too, because I think she should have some emission on it, so I can fix that a bit later too. Just in case, I'm gonna control copy these, and I'm gonna do 6.28 again. Magic number, I suppose. And that should work. And also let me set up the emission on the eye, since we've done the hue shift. So it's using some kind of a mask and also this color. I'm just gonna control C this. Can I control C this color? Oh, interesting, doesn't let me. So I guess I'm gonna just remember these values, I suppose. I'm just gonna do a little notepad magic. Oh, I didn't want to do that. There we go. I'm just gonna copy these values because my memory is non-existent sometimes. So that's a little trick for you people who don't have memory either, just like myself. Okay, now we go into the Quest version. And we set up the emission. We're just gonna drag this little eye mask. And now for the color, so 101, 165. And that's complete, oh, 255. Yeah, that's more or less the same. Let's see, I'm just gonna make it 0.5 again, because I think 1 is kinda a bit like strong. Let's see, I think we should fix also the material for this pure white, because it just shouldn't look this way, I'm pretty sure. So let us just, actually for comparison, let me turn on, actually where is it? Oh, there it is. I don't need to edit the animations anymore, so I can just delete the avatar I was animating on and just keep these. And let me just put the white one on here so we can see what it's actually supposed to look like. And I'm gonna do the same here. And it's probably the same setting, but let us see. Yeah, it is the matte cap for the hair, rim lighting, and there's a bit of emission with basically the same mask as before. So we can do that. Yeah, let's see, let me type in here. Okay, I think it's this one, was it? I'm gonna change it to 0.5 because it was a bit too much before. And I'm gonna add the madcap in for hair. It's quite wide, but I guess that's the point. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. It looks almost the same, I suppose. I mean, bro, I'm still amazed like every day, like how cool you can get on Quest now. It's super cool. Like I'm quite happy they made this shader. But anyway, yeah, that should be fine. And since the avatar doesn't default to any material, I'm just gonna put it back to the default one on all these 4. So I recommend you do the same. And I'm gonna do the same here actually. That's pretty cool though. Looks pretty nice. And the last thing I'm gonna do with the materials is to adjust the drool on the little tongue. So I'm gonna find it, and there's a little trick you can do for Quest to do like a little transparency on stuff like this. You change the material to VRChat, mobile, particles, and either additive or multiply. I'm gonna try to see what additive looks like. Oh yeah, that's pretty much what we want. Just from comparison, I'm gonna check also multiply, but it's probably gonna be dark. Yeah, it's not really what we want necessarily. So let me change that back. And we're good. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into play mode and test it. I'm just gonna hide this one so it doesn't prepare it for no reason. And let's see if what we did worked. Okay, so here we are in the test mode. Let us zoom in a little bit and see the eye hue. Okay, that's pretty nice. I'm gonna zoom out, and now we're gonna test the different hairstyle colors. That seems to work pretty well. And let me check the hue shift. That works nicely too. Yeah, this is really cool. I'm quite happy that they allowed hue shift finally on Quest, even for missions. It's gonna make a lot of people happy, man. That's really cool. And a good thing to do as well is to test all the different toggles just to see if anything broke. Probably not, because we didn't change any of these things, but just in case, to be sure. So one thing that we need to also do is that since we removed one of the hairstyles, the avatar probably has like a button in the menu to switch between them. So on Quest we need to remove that so she doesn't basically become bold when one of the options is being turned on. So the Quest tools already create a new version of the FX layer, so we don't need to really make a copy. We just look into it and we find where does she change the hairstyles. Let's see. Something called ponytail hair. Let us investigate what happens here. Ponytail toggle. Interesting. Let me just click and look at the animation. And oh yeah, this switches between, it basically makes the ponytail being turned on and back hair being turned off. And by default, I suppose it is something, it is the back hair being turned on, which we don't really need here. So probably we can just leave it this way because it's not gonna do anything. Let me just check in the menu and see how this actually happens. Customization menu, I suppose. Hair menu, there we go. Ponytail hair. Oh yeah, so okay, so basically by default she has the hair that we removed, and this toggle just toggles the ponytail on and the default hair off. Since we have the default by being the ponytail, nothing really changes, nothing happens. So this should be fine and we don't have to change anything. So apparently I have to remove from my scene both of these avatars. For some weird reason, I don't understand, it still takes into account, I guess, colliders that I copied from. So watch this. I'm just gonna make actually just like prefabs so I don't lose these in case I need them again. Just click and drag. And I'm gonna delete them from the scene and watch this. There we go. Now it's fine. This is the most obscure scene I've ever seen, but that's what we have to deal with avatars all the time, so that's how you fix it. So now we're gonna upload the avatar and we should be fine. So for that, I'm gonna be using an ID I have made already. So I'm just gonna copy this ID from the PC avatar and I'm gonna put it into the pipeline manager here, attach. And then I'm gonna build and publish. And our avatar should publish for Quest and work. Let's see. And there it is. It succeeded, uploaded our avatar. Everything should be fine. And you can also upload this for PC if you want to test it and see how it works and all that. Now let's talk about a little bit about what to do when the avatar doesn't upload. If it has, for example, 10.5 megabytes or 10.01, which I've seen before as well, which is hilarious. There's a couple of things you can do, and I talked about this earlier about the textures. So let us just find our materials folder. And what we can see, we can click the texture, and you're also going to see the textures. And what you're going to see here, it's the textures that are used on the PC versions. They didn't make a copy of them, but you can scroll down in the inspector of the texture, and you click this little Android icon. And this is the Android override. When this is ticked, it overrides the settings that are here on default when it's uploaded on Android. So here you can change the resolution, for example, but what we should work with is to change the ASTC block. For example, if you want it to get compressed more and lower quality, we're going to select 6 or 8 or 10 if you want to. But each change is going to make it smaller in size and also less detailed, obviously. So for example, if you're missing like 0.1 or something, you can just scale a couple textures and just upload again and see if that works. It helped for me in the past quite well, so it should for you too. Another thing that you can do is to remove some, meshes, because some meshes can also take a lot of space. What you basically do here is you can look in this file, you can see how many meshes take how much space. For example, if you don't care about the necklace, which is 0.2, you can just delete it and the avatar is going to be 0.2 less megabytes, which should, kind of solve your problem if it's only a little bit. It really depends. Every avatar is different. Every optimization process is different. This one was actually not that complicated as I thought it was going to be, but I plan on doing like an extreme optimization, like a really complicated avatar from very poor to, for example, poor on Quest or something like that. Or maybe just very poor on Quest, but with like the least amount of materials and skin meshes and all that, so it's like somehow optimized. So watch out for those videos. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know in the comments what videos you want me to do next, what tutorials you want to see. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.